Hello y'all, hope you're all doing well. This is RJ here in Edenton, North Carolina. Edenton, North Carolina is the county seat of Chowan County. It's a very historic town here right on the edge of the Albemarle Sound. You can see Albemarle Sound in the background. This town is known as like about the third oldest settlement town in the state of North Carolina. It was first established back in around the early 1680s, and then later was incorporated the next century in the early 1700s. It was second capital of North Carolina, and it remained a capital of North Carolina for a good over 20 years, beginning in 1722. You see right here this beautiful Confederate memorial surrounded by the four flags. And right over here, I'll share with you just briefly also the famous Barker House. It dates back to the 1780s, right here along the Albemarle Sounds, and also Bell Battery. There's two Confederate cannons that are over there. Now this is right along the main strip. You see the downtown right here. This is right along Broad Street. See the downtown over there. And there's some other famous historic sites along here as well. After all, no surprise, since this is one of the oldest towns in North Carolina. Now this war memorial right here dates back to actually about 1901, where the fundraisers began. The very first donation being just 2 cents by a little child. And it took years, about 3 years, before they finally were able to place a base here, the granite foundation obelisk that you see here. And it took another 5 years before they finally were able to place the statue on top, the 7-foot tall 7-foot tall bronze statue of the Confederate soldier on top. So altogether about 10 total years. You see on all four sides the flags, historical accurate flags representing those who controlled this area at one time or another. So you see the U.S. flag, you see the North Carolina state flag, you see the British flag right here, and you see the first national Confederate flag off in the background. This is a very simple memorial, simply dedicated to those locals who answered the call of Chowan County to fight for the principles of the Declaration of Independence, fight for the principles of the U.S. Constitution, fight for how their forefathers fought during the American Revolution, and fight in defense of their homes, their families, their homeland in America's largest war. It's very important to have this here. It simply says on the front, "Our Confederate Dead, 1861 to 1865. There's no engravings on these two sides. And on this side, simply a poem. It says, "Cast with honorable scars, low in glory's lap they lie. Though they fell like stars, streaming splendor through the sky." Now, there's been controversy lately, unfortunately. This nice little town in Dixie, unfortunately, there's been a lot of people who move in here, I'd say carpetbaggers, people who flee their broken, blue, criminal, corrupt cities. They find a nice little southern town in Dixie, and then they want to force their views on everybody else, and they bring their baggage with them. And there are those who are protesting this removal, and they have been coming here for about 3 years now. Thankfully, there are counter-protesters, people who wanted to protect and defend these beautiful memorials. I appreciate their efforts. So the town had voted about 2 years ago to remove this, and they were going to move it to a nearby park of lesser prominence. But thankfully, the SCV and the UDC decided to sue, citing law 2015 North Carolina law said that was illegal. Any removed statue or memorial is supposed to be placed in an equal prominent position. And then later on, just only about 6 months ago, there was a deal between the town council and the county board of supervisors to just relocate it back to where it originally was on the county on the county grounds, county courthouse grounds, which is just up the road here. And that seemed to work out really well. It eliminated all of the lawsuits, but unfortunately there was some leftist council culture woke organizations that decided to protest that and decided to sue to prevent that as well. So it remains here in the meantime. It's a beautiful memorial, this town, this county, this community should be very proud of it. So making a transition over here, you see Albemarle Sound in the background. You see the Edenton Tea Ladies, the Barker House right over here. It's a very pleasant day today. See a little playground over here for kids. Nice little walking areas. There's a lighthouse you can walk to over here. Right here in Edenton, which is part of Chowan County. I'll make a quick little perusal over here. So once again, this is the Barker House, dating back to 1782. It's closed today, but it's now a visitor center and kind of a county or town type of museum. You can read about the Penelope House and how this part of the Edenton Tea Party. Built around 1782. And a little historical marker right here speaks about Penelope Barker, America's first female political activist, leader of 51 women who signed a proclamation of protest in 1774 known as the Edenton Tea Party, the first organized political activity by women in our country. Encouraged women to boycott English goods. An intelligent woman, wife, and mother. Now this was the Confederate Battery, and here are 2 Confederate cannons. This right here, you see how this speaks about this to a point. Organized in March 1862 under the leadership of Captain Badham. Lacking adequate artillery, various institutions of Edenton donated their bells to be melted and cast into 4 bronze cannons at Tredegar Foundry in Richmond, Virginia. So think about that. Sometimes when you see a cannon, sometimes those used to be, the metal was derived sometimes from actual bells. Church bells, county bells, and whatever else. The battery was transferred to North Carolina where it opposed Union advances towards Wilmington. By January 1865, the battery was evacuated to Fort Anderson after the fall of nearby Fort Fisher to the advancing Union Army. It then saw action around Wilmington and with the Army of Tennessee at Bentonville. It's a 12-pound howitzer. You can read about this. It was captured at the Battle of Town Creek in Brunswick, County, North Carolina on February 20th, 1865. It's on loan from the old Fort Niagara Association of New York. You kind of wonder why was it on loan from New York, because they're the ones that captured it. It's kind of bounty loot, bounty. A beautiful area down here. You see the dock right here on the edge of Albemarle Sounds. Beautiful homes right over here. It's kind of overcast day, but the temperature is just about right. I'm in short sleeve shirts and shorts. You see off in the distance here the lighthouse. People can walk up there and up to the deck. Nice little view from up there too. Very pleasant, very peaceful, very quiet. This historical sign right here speaks about the Battle of Albemarle Sound. We're on May 5th, 1864. The Confederate ironclad ram CSS Albemarle under Commander Cook with the gunboats Cotton Plant and Bombshell steamed out of the Roanoke River into Bachelor's Bay and Albemarle Sound before you, bound for Newborn. Dead ahead, however, waited the U.S. Navy gunboat. You can read this right here. During the 3-hour battle, Bombshell sustained heavy damage and surrendered. Albemarle was rammed and almost sunk by Saccharoos, but fired point blank into the steamer's boiler, disabling it. Albemarle then escaped upriver to Plymouth for repairs. Albemarle, of course, that's referring to the CSS Albemarle. So a little depiction, a little map here. We're right here on the edge of the Sounds, and took place right out there. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up where I had started. Walking through this nice little area, there's a little bit of a memorial section right through here. Little place for people to go fishing, play games, play equipment. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up. As I head back, pick up the pace a little bit, you see a couple little other cannons right here. This was a town that appreciated its history, embraced its history and what actually really happened here. That's why you see the flags flown over here. It's just incredible. There are people who would move here and try to take advantage of that, and so cruelly try to remove war memorials to those who fought right here in America, in America's by far largest, deadliest war. This war memorial right here, the Confederate soldiers, deserves to be here in every sense of the word. This county asked them to serve and protect. They requested them, Chowan County, and in respect, it's only proper, it's only ethical that this county respond by at least placing a memorial here. In many ways, this is a very modest memorial. So sharing this with you once again today. Hope you're all doing well from Edenton, North Carolina.